Hello my friends, I'm Mr. 23 and today I'm going to teach you step by step how to create this lovely fantasy and mystical design that I have created specially for you. So let's begin. This photo is a photo made by a friend of mine. He was there in the mountains and he took the photo. I'm going to give you the link to his photos. He's a really good photographer. Then I have made a copy of the same layers, and I have added a mask to hide that part where we had too many clouds. Then I have placed those mountain photos in a group, and to this group I have applied this exposure. I have darkened everything, and then I have applied the mask and kept everything dark, and the middle I have painted with black, with a black brush. I have made this part a bit bright. Then I have added this selective color and I have modified the neutrals. This layer I have added later on after I have added the sky, so we are going to come back to this highlight layer because now it doesn't make sense why we should have that red color over there. Then I have made a group, and to this group I have applied this mask which has the shape of the mountain. I made a new group, I have added a mask, then I have taken the magic wand tool here on this layer with the first mountain, this one. I have tried to select the area outside the mountains, so something like that, and then I went back to that mask where I have added to that group, so let's say this one that I just created now, and here I have pressed Alt and Delete. Then I deselected by pressing Ctrl and D and inverted the mask, and now everything that happens, it will happen on the top part. So now if I add a normal layer and I paint with the orange color, for example, everything that I paint happens on this part, you see, is not affecting the mountains, because I wanted to add some sky behind the mountains, and I want the sky to be in the back, not in the front of the mountains. So that's why I have added this mask. And of course here on this part I have taken the brush tool and I have painted with the black color to bring back that part of the mountain, because I didn't want that part to be visible. So this is the mask that you see here on the group, and now everything that I'm adding inside this group will be in the back of the mountains. So the first photo that I have added is this photo with the sky, and I have added a mask on the bottom part, and I have painted with the black color to hide the bottom part of the clouds. Then I have added this photo with the other clouds, and then I have created a new layer and I set this layer to color. So you can do this by creating a new layer and you set this layer to color. And then you take the brush tool, and for example, if we change the color to red and we paint, you'll see it will add that really strong red. So we need to adjust the flow to have something like 10-11%. And now if you paint over there, you'll see that will add that reddish color. And then I have added this photo and I have set it to screen. If you don't know how to do this, it's really simple. Let's say that we have this photo and then we set this layer to screen, and to this layer we are going to apply a mask, but first hold Alt and then click on the mask, and this will hide everything because it's an inverted mask. Everything that you see here with black won't be visible, and now if I paint with the white color, everything that I paint with white, it will be visible. So that's how you bring back a part of an image with the inverted mask. In the back of the mountains you'll see some glow. This is color fill set to overlay. Let's do this. So go here on the adjustment layers and choose solid color, and let's choose a reddish, a really bright red color. Let's set the blending mode to overlay. We are going to invert this mask by pressing Ctrl and I on the mask, and we are going to take the brush tool, the same with the white color. Don't forget the flow should be around 10%. And now if we paint only on that side of the mountain, we'll have that glow only where we paint with the white color. So that's how you add this overlay glow. And I have duplicated and did it again, and this time I set the blending mode to lighter color instead of overlay to have that area more brighter. Then I have added this moon. Let's go back to this layer that I told you about. It is a linear dodge layer filled with black, and I have a blend div applied to this layer. So let me explain you how to create those highlights. First you go to layer, new layer. Here you set the blending mode to linear dodge and fill it with 100% black. We need to look on our sky, so because here we have this red color, that means our mountain should have a bit of that red color. So now I take the brush tool, I paint with that red color here on the mountain, and because this red is too intense, I'm going to double click and apply that blend diff that I just told you about. So hold Alt and drag the slider to the right, and now you see this reddish color will be dispersed on the mountain, and it's much better like that than that intense red color. And now we need to add other parts on the bottom part. First one that I have added, this is the full image with the mountain, and I have added a mask and selected only the bottom part. I have added an exposure adjustment layer, and I have darkened everything. Then I have added this photo with another mountain, and I have applied a mask and selected carefully to match our previous photo. So here, for example, my photo covered that area. So with the help of the mask, I have selected this area really well, so it matches our initial mountain. Then I have duplicated this layer, right? I have duplicated, I drag the same layer, I press Ctrl T, and then right click on the image and flip it horizontally. And then of course you should do the same thing. Select the area that you want. I'm going to do it really fast, something like that, and then click on the mask. And now you have that area selected over there, and with the black color this time and the opacity to 100%, I'm going to paint and hide the areas that I don't want. So everything here, this part, I have placed it into one group, and then to this group with the rocks and the grass, I have applied this hue and saturation, and I press colorized and made everything green. Then on top of it, I have added some parts of other pictures. Then I have added this photo with some fog overlay. So this is the photo. Normally it looks like that. It's from Envato Elements. Alright, so I have set this one to screen and added a mask and selected only the parts that I wanted. And then I have added this linear dodge, and because I didn't want to have only the white color in my mist, in my fog, I wanted to have some bluish color inside it. So you know how to do this, it's easy. You go to layer, new layer, and here set the blending mode to linear dodge, fill it to it black, and you hold Alt to clip it inside that layer with the fog and click between the layers. And then with the blue color, if you paint, it will paint only the fog layer. Alright, so I switched the color to a darker blue color, and I have painted a bit, and this is the result. You have some bluish color to that cloudy layer. And then I have placed everything into a bigger group, this group with the bottom part and the top part of the mountain. And to this group I have added an exposure adjustment layer, and I have made everything a bit darker. Then I have added this dodge and burn, this soft light layer that I'm calling dodge and burn, and I have made everything even darker. Let me teach you how to do this. So you go again to layer, new layer, but instead of linear dodge, we are going to select soft light and fill it with 50% gray. Now if you take the brush tool and you paint with the black color, you will darken those areas that you are going to paint with the black color. Then with the selective color, I have changed a bit the colors to have different colors and to match that area with the rocks much better with my background. I have added this layer with the forest. I have added a mask and mask everything and kept only this part of the forest. The same, this one, I have added a mask and mask everything and kept only that part of my image. And then another image that I have from Envato, it's this picture with this, I don't know, smoke or whatever it is. And the same, I have set the blending mode to screen, added a mask. Then I have created a new layer set to color, like I explained you here on the sky. So I had to buy this photo with the tiger from Deposit Photos, because was really hard to find a good photo with a tiger, a free photo with a tiger. So sorry that I do not give you free stocks on my tutorials, but the thing is that it's really hard to find really good stock images. That's why I have accounts on Envato or FreePic or Deposit Photos, or on NeoStock, for example, where I use a lot of really cool images. So I wanted to have this mystic look to my tiger, so I have added those horns that I have from this picture with a lovely stag. This animal looks amazing how it is right now. and sorry that I did this to him. I took his horns and I have placed it on my tiger's head, and then I have added some exposure to the horns part. I made them darker, and with that method that I just told you about with the soft light, I have added a soft light with 50% gray, and I have painted with white to make those highlights on the sides. Behind those horns I have added a bit of shadows with the exposure set to -364. And then I have placed both the horns and the tiger into one group, and I have made everything darker by using an exposure adjustment layer. And then I have changed the color of his eyes just like that with a color fill, and I have painted only this area of the tiger. And then with the dodge and burn, with that method that I just told you, with the soft light, I painted with black on many parts of the tiger, make the tiger darker. With the brightness and contrast, I have made his paws more darker. And then with the selective color, I have changed the colors of the neutrals. I have modified the settings on the neutrals, and I have made the tiger brighter. And then with the same layer set to linear dodge, I started to paint the highlights. First, I have made the tiger a bit bluish. You'll see why in an instance, because I will have some crystals around that will reflect that blue color on our tiger. And then again, some other bluish highlights on the sides of our tiger. If you already forgot how to do this, really quickly, because I explained this a lot in my tutorials, so go to layer, new layer, and here set the blending mode to linear dodge and fill it with black, and with let's say this blue color. And now if I paint, see, with this color, but the opacity should be again 100%. If I paint with this blue color, it will add that really nice reflection, let's say reflections, to my tiger. And then with this really bright pink color, I have added more highlights, but this time I paint only on the sides of our tiger where I wanted to have those highlights. Really quickly, the same method, you select linear dodge, fill it with black, and now let's zoom in, and with that pinkish color, if we paint here on the sides, it will add that really nice reflection. And you need to paint where the lights are intersecting with our horns. You need to pay a lot of attention to this part of your job, your design, because this is really important. You need to take care of the light sources and to have those reflections on the sides, not everywhere. So this is how I did all those reflections, and after that I did the same thing but only with a white color. So I painted over. Again, I took it from the beginning and did the same things, but paint only with the white color. And then at the end, I have added more highlights with some more red or pink color to make those area even brighter. This is the photo with those rocks and the grass. I think I have it from free pick again, and I have added a mask everything, then make it darker. With the selective color I have changed the colors, and with hue and saturation I have made it very similar to our background. And I have added with that soft light some shadows and some highlights with the linear dodge. And then on top of everything I have created an exposure layer, and I have painted some shadows for the tiger. If you don't know how to do this, let's do it quickly. So create a new layer and set it to exposure, and here on the settings you decrease the exposure a lot, and then you go on the layer with your animal, in our case the tiger, and I'm going to click by holding the control. I'm holding the control key now, and I'm clicking on the tiger, and then I'm going again to that layer that I just created, and I'm pressing Alt and Delete. And then I'm going to press Ctrl and I to invert the mask, and if you drag it, you'll see you have the same shape of the tiger. And then press Ctrl T, right click and flip it vertically, drag it underneath your tiger, and then zoom out a bit, hold Ctrl and drag the corners to have a good perspective of the shadow, and match the intersection of the shadow with the animal's legs and everything. All right, and then to this mask, so reduce the opacity, something like that. And then to this shadow I went to filter and blur, and I use motion blur, and then you need to change the angle of the motion blur to match your shadow direction. And with the brush tool at the end, you should use the soft brush. You should paint with the black color on the sides, for example, a bit, to lose that shadow into the background. Envato is a must-have service for artists and creators, and it is also the sponsor for today's video. Using Envato, you have access to over 55 million assets to choose from: fonts, music, 3D models, and anything you need to speed up your workflow. There are thousands of 3D models on Envato Elements, including all sorts of assets that you can quickly download, and you can use them right away in your designs. You don't have to know anything about 3D, you just save the angle that you want and use it. So when I need an asset for my designs, I'm going here on the search part, and for example, I'm selecting crystals, and on the all items I'm going to 3D, and then I'm going to search it. And as I said, I found a lot of really cool images that I couldn't find anywhere else. And even if I could find them somewhere else, for example this one, you cannot rotate it, and by using Envato Elements you have this option to rotate the 3D elements and find your angle that you want to use in your design. So when you are satisfied with the angle, you just download it, and you can download it straight PNG, or you can have it as PSD file already selected, and you don't have to worry about the background. I use Envato Elements for a few months already, and not just for 3D models. It really helped me to improve my video editing because of their professional pre-made templates, and also at some point I needed some WordPress templates, and on Envato Elements there are thousands of WordPress templates to choose from. So with less than $20 per month you have access to unlimited downloads, and that can really improve your editing level. Just click on the link in the description below the video and get your subscription now. So I decided to use this angle of the crystals that I have from Envato, and to this crystal I have added the highlights with the same linear dodge method, and the shadows with the soft light, and then again the highlights with the white color. And I did the same with the left one. So this one is another crystal again from Envato, and I have rotated a lot and choose that angle, and I have did the same things to it, added the highlights, then the shadows, and again the white highlight. Then I have used the same exposure and added some shadows to those crystals. I wanted to change their colors because I didn't really like this color that they initially have. So I did this by adding a hue and saturation layer and use the shape of the crystals to change their colors. So Ctrl click on the layer with the crystals, and after you select it you have the selection active on the crystals or whatever element you have. So if you create now a hue saturation adjustment layer, it will already have the shape of the crystals. So if you press colorize, you'll see that it will automatically change that color. Then on top of them I have added with the color dodge adjustment layer some glows. So create a new layer, so go and set the blending mode to color dodge, and now if I paint with the blue color, it will make that part where I'm painting, and the glow will be really strong because color dodge is really strong on glows. Because we have a lot of glows, blue glows, I added some glows on the ground also, and I did this by using the overlay this time. So create a new layer, set it to overlay, paint with that blue color on the ground. So I'm painting on the ground with that blue color to have some blue reflections from my crystals, and then double click on the layer, and the same, hold Alt and drag the right slider to the right to disperse that blue more on the ground. Now on the right side of my mountain I have added this cloud that I have from Envato also, and inside this layer with the clouds I have painted by using a multiply. And if you are wondering why I'm using multiply, the thing is that when you have a dark background you use screen to blend the colors much better, but when you have a white background you need multiply. Alright, now is the time for our character. We have this photo with this lovely lady looking at, I don't know, something in the tree. I have selected her, added a mask, and then the first thing that I'm doing is adding exposure to make everything on her darker, and of course this exposure is clipped in the layer. Then a selective color where I have modified the neutrals to match her better with my background, and behind her I have added a shadow using that exposure that I just explained you. And then with the dodge and burn I made everything even darker, and with the highlights with the linear dodge I have added some bluish highlights just on her right side. And then of course I have painted some hair. It looks like that. It's really messy, but I wanted to have some messy look, not the football player, not that messy. It's like her hair was really in all directions because she was a bit you know, lost or something like that. She was really if you look at the whole image, she was really impressed by the mystical character that we've created. And then I have placed the hair and her into one group, and to this group I have added some highlights with the linear dodge method, and again the white ones with the white color. And then next to her I have this photo of the sheep, and I have you know, selected them and place the sheep here next to her. Of course we need to change the colors really quickly, and I had to mask some parts out, and I did this using the clone stamp tool, and I cloned the highlights that the sheep already had on them. And then I have added brightness and contrast and brighten them a bit. So I increased the brightness a bit, and then with the selective color I have changed them colors, right? And then with the hue and saturation I have changed again the colors, desaturate them a lot, and with the exposure I darkened them, and then I played with the highlights and with the white highlights also. So usually I'm adding a color right from the background. In our case we have those crystals here on the right side, and because we have the light coming from this side, I have added first the bluish color from the crystals, and then with the white color I have added more reflections to the sheep. And then I have added these levels and dragged the right slider more to the left to brighten a bit the sheep. And then with the dodge and burn, the soft light method, I made everything a bit darker. And then of course the shadow with the exposure. Alright, and then in her hand I have manually painted the staff. With the exposure I have added this little shadow that she should have underneath her hand, because her hand is casting a shadow on the staff. So and then I have added some birds on the sky, and this little light that I have from NeoStock. They have a great bundle with some lights, and those lights will save you a lot of time. Again, this is really cool. I'm going to give you the link for them. Then when you finish, just press Ctrl Alt Shift and I, and now we are going to add the final adjustments, which is the camera raw filter. So right click and convert it to a smart object. Then go to filter and choose camera raw filter. Here on the basic I have modified those settings. You can play around. As I said, now if I wanna do it again, I think I will have different settings. It's just your mood at that moment, how you feel the design. And another thing that I did here on the color grading, I played a bit with the sliders, and on calibration I have modified the blue and the red colors. And the really cool thing that I love to do when I'm finishing my designs is here on the detail. I increase the sharpening, noise reduction and color noise reduction, and this helps me a lot to unify the elements in my design. And then press OK when you are happy with the result. A thing that I really love to do when I finished it, I thought that it needs something here like a mystical thing, and I have added this arcane stuff. So actually this is a brush. So actually inside the brushes you have this brush. Those are her credentials. I really wanted to thank her for the brushes. They are amazing. So just look up for her on DeviantArt website. It's a Redhead stock, or you can go to her website. Anyway, let me quickly make you a little demo with the brushes. So we have all those really cool brushes. I think this one from here. And I have painted something like that, and then I have duplicated by pressing Ctrl J a few times. Yeah, and then when I was happy with the result, I selected all of them and pressed Ctrl E, merge them into one single layer. And then I have duplicated this one again by pressing Ctrl and J and set the blending mode to screen. And then at the end another Ctrl J and duplicate it again and set it to color dodge. And then I have applied an inverted mask. Hold Alt and click on the mask, and to the screen one the same thing. And then take the normal soft brush, and with the white color on the screen one you can paint, but the flow should be around 10%. If you paint on some parts of this brush, it will brighten only those areas. And the same with the color dodge. I'm painting with the white color and I'm brightening just some areas. So my Mr. 23 review has almost 500 posts, so people are starting to use this tag a lot, and I cannot be more happy because you trust me to review your art and to mention you in my videos. For this video, the featured artist is Azzy Attack. I really love his Kung Fu Master edit. It's really lovely because I was really into martial arts for more than 15 years. I really love this type of designs. So he did an incredible job with the overall work on this design. I really love it, and congratulations Attack for being the featured artist of this week, and for all those that love his designs. As you can see on his Instagram account, he has a lot of interesting designs, so please give him a follow. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you already subscribed to my channel so you can be notified anytime that I post a new video. Don't forget that next week I'll post the new Photoshop contest for this month, so please turn on your notifications so you can be among the first ones that find out about the contest. See you next time!